After a very successful opening day in the Liga, landing us in first place, the work at BFC Germania was only just beginning. Pierre Vercauteren made a request to be closer to home so he wouldn't have to move his entire family while setting up the network. He will now be taking over from Gabriel in Belgium, whilst Gabriel moves his network to Scandinavia, but more specifically in Denmark. Other maintenance in the club also had to be done, with the financial situation that has left us with no choice but to sell first if we're to bring in any of our transfer targets. Hannes Peters, Raphael Schroeder, Sam Muller and Till Young have all been selected as potential leavers in this summer transfer window, with the first three as permanent moves and Till a loan deal to get him more game time. With people up for sale, the scouting and transfer departments were lining up potential players to come in and hit the ground running. Christopher Horvath was the first choice person to replace Muller. He came in with his agent trying to strike up a deal to suit both parties. Although agreeing to a 4-year crucial playing time contract, the deal fell through at the final stages due to wages being more than the club would offer considering the already established wage structure. Sam Muller also had a chat with the boss Franz Berg, explaining that he wasn't best pleased with the decision to move him on. After leaving the meeting, Sam was understanding that due to his age of 34, it was probably best for the club to move in a different direction. Shortly after, the phone rang from FC Dynamo 1948 inquiring about the potential acquisition of Mr. Muller, to which there was a meeting set up at earliest convenience. Coming in with an initial €330,000 offer, the clubs agree on a final transfer fee of €450,000 for the services of Sam Muller. Not too long after the deal was accepted, Wycombe Wanderers also inquired about the deal, but the English club not meeting the same price set by FC Dynamo. After all the transfer business, it was down to business for the team on the pitch. Facing VfL Osnabrück away from home in the first road game of the season, early into the match, Vogel capitalises on a goalkeeping error, giving BFC an early lead in the game. Shortly followed by a second, thanks to Gross with a tidy left-footed finish across the keeper. BFC needed Theo Koch's help in hand at keeping the game at 2-0 with a smart save to his left before the VfL keeper making a top save at the other end. Vogel wouldn't be denied his second this time as a firmly hit shot across the keeper beat the man in goal. The final goal of the game comes from Keller with a well-worked, nice play by this time assister Franz Muller with a tidy finish into the top right corner, leaving the keeper with no chance from close range. The game would require one more good save by Theo to keep the clean sheet with a strong left hand in the dying moments. Even though VfL dominated possession, the boys in red came out decisive winners in this away tie. The very next day, Sam Muller would be saying his goodbyes to the club after being here for the promotion of last season and most certainly playing his part. He departs for a new challenge in his career at FC Dynamo. Everyone here at BFC wishes him all the best in his new chapter. The board were very happy with the price negotiated, but also shared their concerns over the lack of quality replacing him. The extra €300,000 in our transfer fund would allow us the opportunity to try and sign some good prospects for the future. The first name on the list for midfielders from the scouting department was Samuele Di Benedetto, a 19-year-old defensive midfielder with a very bright future in the world of football. Their price for the player was far too much for what we could afford, and although he was the number one target, the price couldn't be justified for the deal. Second on the list was a young attacking midfielder who also has a lot of promise, and although probably not a player to come in straight away and demand a lot of game time, he looks to have a high ceiling and would benefit us for years to come. Nick Elias Meyer, with a release clause of €670,000, was seen as an investment for the future. Even if he doesn't work out, resale value down the line will always be high due to his potential and age. With a 5-year contract accepted and a wage just of $1,500, Elias Meyer would be a BFC Germania player the very next day. Providing the medical team gave the all clear, he should be available for the next game. Speaking of, it would be another home game for us against a very well organised SV Sandhausen, who were looking to give us our first defeat. With the same starting 11, the game started off extremely quickly. Franz Müller giving us the lead after just 3 minutes, followed by another one just 10 minutes later. Sandhausen coming back with a goal with a smart finish across Theo from close distance after some really poor defending. In the second half, we would come close with an effort from Keller after the 55th minute. Sandhausen then levelled the playing field with a lovely composed finish after a wonderful assist. Just 2 minutes later, the boys in red fired their way past the keeper with a strong left-footed finish from Vogel. Then Theo was once more called into action to stop a shot from the far side of the box, keeping the scoreline at 3-2. In the 82nd minute, Sandhausen would get a great chance from a cross, with the striker nodding home in hopes of rescuing 1 point. But with the last kick of the game, Captain Fantastic Berger firing home a last-minute winner, keeping the perfect start to the season going. A well-deserved win with plenty of attacking football at the Stadion des Erbes, hopefully a sign for things to come. With the team in red-hot form, the next game was against Arminia Bielefeld, a quality team that possesses lots of threats all across the pitch. With a few changes to the team, Lang in for his first start and Fuchs in for Schneider, Arminia started brightly, forcing Theo into early action, stopping a shot at his near post. Down the other end, Vogel continues his fine form, dispatching yet another finish from close range, giving us the lead. Arminia, though, still pouring on the pressure, once again forces a save from Theo to keep it at 1-0. Unfortunately, Theo couldn't stop the next one as it couldn't be cleared from a corner and Bielefeld equalises. Müller down the other end tests the goalkeeper with a good shot forcing a corner before 15 minutes later scoring what could be a goal of the season contender. A wonderful strong run down the left hand side with a lovely bit of skill, beating his man before finding the top corner with a ridiculous curling effort, giving us back the lead. In the 80th minute, Bielefeld would give BFC a scare with missing a shot from 8 yards out with a terrible composed finish by their striker. The game wouldn't be over though, because Bielefeld have learned from BFC's last minute goals with one of their own in the dying second, giving them what was a very well deserved point. BFC had their toughest game so far and managed to secure a point even though they were by far the worst team. After a few days, the phone rang once more with an inquiry, but this time it was for Aaron Keller. Although a player with a newly signed contract, there is a release clause in said contract, and if it were to be hit, we would have to accept. The terms were placed down in front of Real Sporting Gijon. There was a fixed price for Keller of €2.5 million at this moment in time. They ultimately decided it was a deal they couldn't facilitate and pulled out from the offer. A second bid came in, but this time for Ralph Bauer. Sipe Bodrum offering €1 million, but a price of closer to €2 million was asked for by the club. They too decided to withdraw their request. It was time once again to make a second offer for Di Benedetto. With a market value of close to €1 million, it was not going to be a cheap deal to do. First asking for Bauer plus a transfer fee was suggested by Stuttgart. An offer of €900,000 with no player swap was made. The tension was extremely high in the room, and when the counter-offer came back for €920,000 and a 1% sell-on fee, BFC Germania gladly accepted. A deal for their main summer transfer target under the fee that they were willing to pay initially, a contract offer of €2,000 per week and a decent signing on bonus. The deal was wrapped up in the afternoon, ready for the medical the very next day. The board were delighted with the finances and quality of the player and were happy that Franz Berg's visions were coming into fruition. Now that all the transfer business is out of the way, it is time for the last game of the month against SV Wehen Wiesbaden, a tough fixture away from home for the team. I will now pass you down to the commentary box where we will hopefully see a vintage performance leaving us at the top of the table.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the away day for BFC Germania, where we play Wehen Wiesbaden in the Britta Arena, a lovely stadium, and hopefully home to what will be a very entertaining game of football with lots of chances, lots of goals, as we look to continue our fine run of form, surprising the division so far, sitting pretty on top of the league table. Surprising a lot of teams, considering we lost the majority of the best players of the team, with a counter-attacking style that is devastating. As you see, the top scoring teams of the division, we sit top of that as well with 13 goals, with Ingolstadt and Arminia currently on 9. No thanks to that man, Franz Müller and Keller, both instrumental to the success BFC are having at the moment, as we see the 3-4-2-1 system for Wehen Wiesbaden with their manager Niels Döring, to the 4-2-3-1 of BFC with, of course, Franz Berg at the helm. Theo keeps his position, Lang, Beck the fullbacks, Schmidt, Janssen the centre-backs, Kaiser and Schneider playing the defensive midfielder, with Bauer, Keller and Vogel in behind the main man, Franz Müller. Goppel on this right hand side with Beck following him, who has now left a huge gap. There is a man in the middle, he does find him too, and that is side netting. A chance that probably should have done a little bit better. Brook plays out to Betzner. The referee deemed it was handled by Lang. Bauer can't pick it up on the first time of asking, but does on the second. Now the counter-attacking style again. Vogel plays out to Beck. Doesn't quite have the pace to get past his man. Finds Schneider in that defensive midfield position. Lovely pass all the way out to Lang. Back to Bauer. In to Müller. Back to Müller. And with a left-footed shot. It was a good effort. Really well worked. Left to right. Back into the middle. And Müller can't quite find the target. But really encouraging play. 9 minutes being played. Still currently 0-0. BFC have tried implementing more of a possession-based system over the last week. We are trying to see it here as they build up in this back three system. Kaiser, defensive midfielder, playing a lovely pass to Beck into Keller, who finds Müller. Does have men over. Finds Beck once more. Back to Müller. Does have Keller in the middle, and Keller with a wonderful strike. 1-0 BFC with the diminutive attacking midfielder who is garnering some attention from some clubs in Europe, but currently for BFC, putting them 1-0 up against Wehen Wiesbaden with a fine finish. With his right foot, the keeper leaving too much space on that far left. Finds the top corner. There's BFC 1, Wiesbaden 0. Again, trying to build up from the back. 26 minutes being played. Keller dropping deep. Dominating the possession game as we find Schmidt. Keller again finding lots of space. Müller makes the run. Can't quite find him. Chip over the top, and what a finish that is! Müller with a bicycle kick, comes scissor kick. A goal you will not see many better than this season. So we see in slow motion, completely off the ground. It is a somewhat looping finish. The keeper absolutely having no chance. 2-0. Janssen wins the header. Falls to Kaiser. Can't quite find Keller, but it finds Bauer. Again, Vogel holding the height. Drives past one, drives past two, makes him fall over. Drives into the box, penalty spot. Oh, the composure from the youngster. Unfortunately, where it matters the most, puts it wide. What a big chance that is by Vogel. As Lang wins this header and it falls to Bauer. The pressure is still on. Keller into Muller, who finds Bauer once more. Back to Muller with the left-footed shot. It's a good save. Goalkeeper called into action once more. It has been a busy day for him as Beck comes up. Oh, and it hits the crossbar. There is so much pressure from BFC currently. Comes off the shoulder, it seems. As they find the ball into the box, they do have a man at the back post. It's a long pass over to Goppel. Finds the striker off Lang into Betzner, who's just side down. Betzner, for no apparent reason, completely misses the ball, and it's a penalty just before half time. A really strange decision by Kaiser. You can see he gets absolutely nowhere near it, to the frustration and disgust by Franz Berg. Furious. Now it is all up to Theo to try and keep this clean sheet. And what a big save! Big stretch! Big right hand as well. Half-time is not here though, it is a corner. The pressure is mounting, as it looks to be handball, and the referee does eventually give it. What a crazy end to the half, where it does end 2-0. It could very easily be 2-1 through a horrendous decision by Kaiser, luckily to be bailed out by Theo. But 2-0, very entertaining game. Hopefully more of the same in the second half. Only with the one substitute then. And the man is on the ball now, Werner, who's come on for Lang, who was struggling a little bit. Schneider plays in Muller. He drives in again. Left-footed shot, this time well wide. Well wide. It looks like BFC have the same intent in the second half as they did the first. Schmidt can't quite win the header, but this time wins back, and he does have Muller, the centre-back, step far too forwards. And he holds off his man really well, and a left-footed strike, and again into the roof of the net. The keeper having absolutely no chance. 3-0 BFC. You see once more Muller holding off his man, and with a thunderous strike rising, puts them 3-0 up. As they are trying to create chance just straight from kickoff. There is actually a good opportunity, and Theo somehow manages to tip it over the crossbar. Straight from kickoff. Good cross in at the near post, and Theo again, the reactions down to his right hand side. There was a man on the post in Muller, but Theo pushes out for yet another corner, as this time it is well cleared. But straight back, ball has not been cleared fully. It's a good block by Schmidt, which now goes out for a throw-in. Betzner unfortunately loses out. The ball not fully cleared though, but now is given to Beck as we look to break down this left-hand side via Vogel. Plays it into Keller. Does have Muller through the middle, who again is beating his man. It's a good strike. Keeper palms it into danger, and Hübner away. As Kaiser wins the header, and it is a free kick. You can see Some tactical changes have been made to try and help with build-up. And also, we are going to witness substitutes for Nick, Elias Meyer, and also Di Benedetto coming on as we get a live performance from them. Schmidt on the ball, back to Di Benedetto. Looks wide and finds Beck. They do have men in the middle in Vogel. Vogel into Muller. Muller over to Werner, the substitute, who finds the top corner. It is 4-0. It has been an absolute dominating performance by BFC within the first hour. Muller now having yet another assist to his name with a fine finish by the substitute. Again, the keeper not having a chance. 4-0. Bauer over to Werner. Does have men in the middle if they can find him. He finds Werner. He finds Muller into Bauer. Bauer one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And he took too long. It's a good save. Keeper stayed on his feet, made himself big. And unfortunately, the scoreline stays at 4-0. So they come down this left-hand side. Flotho into Janssen. And the ball is picked up by Theo. As Meyer comes the other way now. Loses out, unfortunately. Does really well to win it back. Beck finds Vogel. Can't quite find Elias Meyer once more. As again, Beck has to do some defending down this left side. Wins back the ball. Finds Di Benedetto once more. As we look to break down this far side. Finds Muller. Oh, what a piece of skill that was. Drives past his man. Again, sits another one down. A lovely little chop inside. Muller. 5-0 with another fantastic finish. Very, very similar to his goal in previous games, where he dribbles past 3 or 4 players, cuts on inside onto his favoured left foot, as you see. Great little chop. And fires home at the near post. Keeper 0 chance once more. He's had a torrid time this game. It is 5-0 to BFC. Dominating performance. The 80th minute, as it fires up to Janssen, who has fallen and seems to be holding his shoulder, and is currently on the floor. But we do have defending to do. They have a man in the box. They can't find him. Schmidt comes across, makes the block. Benedetto out to Vogel as the referee stops the play. Looks to be a really horrible injury. We're being told it's his shoulder or somewhere in that region. He may have fallen and landed on it, but there has to be a substitute where Janssen comes off and replaced by another Janssen. As we get a closer look, it looks pretty innocuous, but he did fall and stay down and reach for his arm, so maybe it's something to do with his shoulder. As Wiesbaden play it back to Theo in good sportsmanship. "85 minutes being played. Schmidt steps in really nicely. Finds Muller, who's had the beating of these 3 defenders. Drives in. And the shot just a couple yards wide. Not really testing the goalkeeper this time. Bauer finds Vogel, who finds Elias Meyer. Dribbles past one. Skips past another. Into the box. And what could have been a wonderful first goal for his PFC career ends up being a terrible miss. Thankfully, the scoreline is so dominant, it doesn't matter. But he has really shown some potential in this game. Some great attacking flair. And getting into the box for what could have been his first goal for the club. And it looks like it is going to end 5-0 away from home fantastic performance. And there, the referee blows the full-time whistle. As you can see, the stadium is somewhat empty, and the boos ring out around as Franz Müller picks up yet another match ball with a phenomenal hat-trick, a bicycle kick, a wonderful individual effort. "5-0 BFC Germania." The stats are as follows, with 54 possession in favour of Wiesbaden, but a 5.7 XG for BFC, leading to a wonderful win.
So Nick Janssen has been deemed unavailable as we get a inbox from our physiotherapist, and you can see he's out for up to 2 months, with Vincent Berger also out for 2 weeks. We are running a little bit short on players in the defensive third, so with the next episode there is going to be the transfer deadline day as we try to bring in some signings. We don't have a lot of money, so maybe it is a case that we really do have to sell players to buy, unless there are some loan or free signings to do, and we can utilize some of our wage budget on that. We also still do have one place up for grabs when it comes to promoting youth, and today is the final day that we are able to do so, because we have to register them for the season within the transfer window. So maybe we can have a look through the academy and see if we can bring any of them up to offer some support and some rotation, of course. But that is all for next episode. That is going to be the start of next episode. But for this one, it is going to be the end of this episode. So if you have enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next time that I upload. And also leave all comments down below whether you think I can add something to the save, improve something. I'm completely new to this, and I want to make it as entertaining as possible whilst trying to be as unique as possible too. Thank you very much for watching. I genuinely hope you have enjoyed it, and I also hope you enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.